understand the value of helping others,
Yeah.
and how much that we can get from that if someone needs our help and we're there for them, whether it's, helping them with weight loss or helping them put down the bottle.
Hmm.
Right. I didn't get sober by myself. Now I'm going to be very clear on that and let you understand that I didn't do it alone.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us on episode 15 of The Interesting People You Meet. Today we have an old friend of mine and former hockey colleague, Colin Drysdale. Colin helps middle-aged men cut fat and build muscle and unlock their true potential. He's a national level men's physique bodybuilding competitor and is an electrician by day. We're super happy to have you on, Colin. I've been following you on social for a while, and your journey over the past 4 or 5 years to get to where you are today, it's pretty impressive. So we're grateful to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick. And thanks, Nathan, for having me. I really appreciate it. Just grateful to be on here and kind of shoot the breeze with you guys and see what's going on. But yeah, change has definitely been evident in my life in the last 4 or 5 years. And I'm here to just kind of talk about, what it was like, what happened, and kind of where I'm at now. And just happy to be here. Thanks.
That's amazing. Yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thanks again for joining us. So, how are you? How are you right now? How are you today?
Excellent, man. Excellent. It's
Yeah.
Monday. I try to never miss a Monday. You know what I mean? So in regards to just kind of getting up and getting the ball rolling, creating that momentum for myself as I run through my week and my day and through my week. And then, as the weeks progress, we kind of always strive to be like, I'm better today than I was yesterday, you know? Um, and I kind of live my life that way now. It wasn't the case, like 3 or 4 years ago, when I was still out there kind of being wild and crazy, and I decided to make a life change, and fitness really changed my life. And now I've been on a pretty wild journey in the last couple of years where I'm really changed me and showed me what I was, showed me what my true potential was. And I'm grateful for all my experiences and to have you reach out to me and someone who I could help as well. So it's
Yeah,
pretty
man.
cool.
That's amazing. I love it. Well,
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
yeah, it's great to have you on. And I think, I can't say that we all have a similar story because we haven't shared yours yet, or you haven't shared yours yet. But we all, I think, we come from humble beginnings sometimes, and life doesn't always have to be the way it was, and it's exciting to move through that and through whatever means that is. So do you mind sharing your story a little bit? I know I've seen a couple of times that you sort of have perhaps a spot or a time in your life where something hit, whatever that was, and now you're here, shredded, whatever percent body fat,
Uh,
just coming back from Toronto. So let's hear the story.
I mean, I'll take you back to I'm 34 years old. I was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I was raised and grew up in Waverly. High school. Like Nick and I are old high school buddies. We played hockey together. I grew up playing multiple sports. I was always an athlete. Soccer, hockey, golf, snowboarding, everything else. Team sports. So that's where I found my kind of my competitive nature and my drive when I was a kid. I was never like the best on the team, and I was like the seventh defenseman. And I'm not gonna lie, like going through my adolescent years was tough. I really struggled with like self confidence. I really struggled with, I think like with bullying and stuff, and it affected me. And but today I see through that, and I see the strength I acquired through the struggles and stuff. Um, so what do I'll tell you, I'll get back to that in a second, but so what do I do now? Like I got into the electrical trade, as you said, Nick. When I was 19 years old, I got indentured. I just come off the street. I didn't even know really what it was. My father is an electrician by trade. My grandfather is. My uncle is, and my cousin is an apprentice as well. Andrew Lively,
Yeah,
Claire.
absolutely.
We all played hockey together, Nick. And yeah, and there's a long list of electricians in my life, and I just kind of stuck with it and got my ticket in 2013 as a Red Seal construction electrician. There's an industrial side to this trade as well. It's another year of schooling. And I'm really like, that was one of my biggest accomplishments in my life up to this date. Um, and I've been working in it since 2008. And I'm currently employed at St. Mary's University as a maintenance guy.
Oh,
Nice
cool.
easy gig.
Yeah, nice.
Don't tell him I said that.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
you're not on
and
the clock now, are you, brother?
well, I told him I was leaving. So,
Nice.
but anyways, so in regards to where I used to be, like I was very shy growing up. Like I said, I struggled with self limiting beliefs and ultimately self limiting behaviors as I came into becoming a young adult. Um, but it took me a long time to understand and figure that out in regards to, like alcohol and drugs hit me hard uh, probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Um, and I was probably at my lowest point in my life where I just knew that I couldn't live that way anymore, and I needed to make a change. So it was, a conscious effort from a lot of people, and I got the help that I needed. I'm going to keep this story short, and just say that I have been sober for 3.5 years, and I have never been in a better place.
Nice.
Now, if I wasn't, you know, substance free, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish like my adventures in fitness, health, and wellness over the last 3 or 4 years, right? So I've been on a good path, and like I don't like I'm not gonna keep I keep talking and talking here, but I don't know. You guys have any more questions for me or in regards to
Hey
that?
man, no, that's huge. Congrats.
Yeah,
And I think in preparation for this conversation, Nathan and I were saying that like how impressive that is that, there's no way one could compete at that level if you carry on habits. And that's not just you, that's all of us. In whatever way, if for us it's perhaps in business, some people can hide behind that, but it catches up with you after a while, and then you can't really hit those peaks that you're striving for, be it excellence or just a better person every Monday. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a good community to surround you to keep you motivated to do that. So it's impressive that you're developing that community I guess, in physical body here in Halifax and throughout the Maritimes, and I guess across the country, perhaps the world, at some point, and building quite a following too on social media and that sort of thing, which is interesting. For me, I love to hang out on Instagram and follow what people are up to because it does motivate me. Sometimes it annoys me. I'll be honest. I really love and lean towards those who are trying to develop the whole package and not just one thing. And that's what I like about the content that you put out and kind of where your headspace is that it's a better call, and it's not just a 4 or 5% body fat call or whatever that is. You know what I mean? What was that number? And do you know what it was in Toronto?
that's a good question. It's funny because everybody always asks me that, and what I tell people about body fat percentage is not about what the caliper reading says. It's all about how you look at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
right.
It's all about having that extra set of eyes
Mm-hmm.
on you. That's why it's crucial to have a coach or like not everybody uses a coach, but 95% of competitors do, which is the smart move. But either way, having an extra set of eyes on you, right? And I'm always taking pictures, obviously, that progress
Mm-hmm.
pictures, like especially leading up to show day. It's kind of like it's crucial, right? And for me, like that's having a coach, and like Connor, he definitely is. Like I've been with him the whole time I've been involved in this sport for 3 years. I haven't never coach hopped like some people do, and they use this guy or use this team, and I use this team, and it's so he knows me really well. He knows me inside out, and he knows like my work ethic, my consistency, my dedication, and then everything that comes along with that, right? Is the results speak for themselves. Like I've only competed 3 times. So my first show was back in October 2020 during the middle of the pandemic in Moncton, New Brunswick. Again, it was supposed to happen on a Saturday, but Moncton decided to go to code red for COVID on Saturday. So they pulled the show off Friday night, and I found that out at 4 p.m. on Friday afternoon before I hit the border of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia.
Brutal.
Guess what? I I got out of my car on the side of the highway, went and took a tinkle with Mother Nature, and I came back, called my coach, and said, "What are we going to do? And do I go home? Because I don't want to risk my family's safety or my safety and get someone sick. Because at that time we were still freaking out over the whole thing. Or do I keep going because I work so damn hard that it's not worth going back because it would be for naught. And during that time, I had to push myself in my basement right in here. Like I worked out at
Yeah.
home, right, and pushed
Wow.
that show, got pushed back, and I managed. We managed to pull something off here with like pull up bars and a little bit of free weights. I used an ironing board for an incline bench leaned up against my coach.
Nice.
Okay,
Love it.
I wanted it, man. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I'm all into this. Like, I mean, I committed to it, and and I made it, and we made it happen, right? So going through all that and doing that show, and then having the promoters be able to pull that off for us, I'd do any show.
How long do your
Yeah.
preps
That's
usually
what.
last?
So this year, I started at 18 weeks out.
Okay.
I started, I forget, I was about 190 pounds, 89, 88, 90 pounds. Got down to as low as 165, I think, ish, I think. And I think on stage, my last show, my first show was in Moncton, where I won my class in men's physique B, and I placed second overall. I was 1 point away from winning the whole show. And that was my second time competing. Um, and then 3 weeks later, I went to nationals. I decided to go to Toronto and step on that stage. I did it. Nick seen it, and yeah, it was kind of like the stars aligned, and like the way I've been living my life and the sobriety and stuff, and like how I've been like giving to myself and finally found out who I really am and like experienced, the good side of me and being okay with who I am. Like things just start to happen, you know. And it was clearly evident that like nationals were calling me, and then I just decided to go for it.
Nice.
And it was, yeah, like the universe was aligned for me. It's not gonna be all hokey pokey here, but like in Toronto, these things when I was there, it was so strange because it was just these little things where like everything went right, you know, for me, and it affirmed to me that I was in the exactly where I needed to be, right in the right place, right.
And do you
Totally.
do men's physique?
Yeah. Men's physique is a category I compete
Yeah.
in. The board shorts, right? So I
Yeah.
get lucky. I don't gotta, get down to my skivvies and bring my sock to the tandem booth, right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a funny story. If you want to hear a funny story, this is going to be
Of
a
course.
little comical. So, wait to get this is funny. It's actually hilarious. I was like, anyways. So I went down for my second coat of tan at nationals. I decided to get a fresh coat for the night show, right? So I could wash off after prejudging and get all those like um, prejudging jitters out and stuff, and so I did that, and then I went back down for my second coat of tan. I was cruising around talking to everybody, like I was just happy to be there, honestly, just to immerse myself in the experience, right, and soak it all up and be very present. And I went back down for my second coat, and I was just like, "Oh, hey guys, here I am," like nobody around or whatever, and blah blah blah. She's like, "Oh yeah, come on in," and she's like, "Okay, I'll do your thing," and then I I forgot to wear underwear.
Nice.
So she's like, "Get your ass in here, boy!" And yeah, and it was just kind of funny, right? But who cares? And it was just part of the experience for me. And honestly, Nathan and Nick, like being able to do that, like and feeling like I actually belong there, after feeling so like for so long, my whole life feeling like I never belonged anywhere,
Hmm.
you know. Um, it was just a really rewarding experience. It was only my first time, so I didn't like. There was so many like high level athletes there. I placed pretty low, but it didn't matter to me because my main takeaway from that was the judges' feedback for me, understanding what I could come home with and then keep working on. Once the off season hit again, that's where I'm at now. So I still
Right.
have that purpose, right?
So when you met up with your coach, Had you been training at that point? Like, was he like, "Hey, dude, you try this," or were you like kind of looking around for something? Like, what got you like heavy into it to go, yeah, this is for me?
Um, so I always went to the gym, I was always like a gym goer, still party animal. Um, but I was always and still always be like, honestly, it's not, if I was going in there to look good, I'm doing it wrong, right? I'm going in there to feel good. I'm going in there for my mental health,
Hmm.
right? And that's one of the reasons how I just like I discovered the pump, years ago.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, man.
Yeah. We've seen that video for sure. Yeah.
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 So, and seriously though, like it's just for like my overall mental well-being, whether I was, you know, drinking or not, or doing whatever, like, and then I knew that I had the power inside me to take it to the next level. And I just started gaining an interest in paying attention to people that were competing locally. And what was going on at World Gym at the time before COVID, and how everybody was prepping for Johnny Shreve and Greg Doucette's show they were promoting for the casino. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But I remember specifically, I tell this story all the time, that I went to World Gym for the first time after paying attention through social media on what some people were doing there. Um, and I went there for the first time as soon as the people that were prepping for that show had finished a photo shoot. And there was something in the air because I walked in there. It was like so like nostalgic, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, this is where I need to be." And nobody was
Nice.
there, but that was kind of the start for me in the journey. And
Right.
and then I decided to take Connor on. I was talking to him a little bit here and there. Never pulled the plug, but then one of the things I said on my first check-in to him was like, "Yeah, I want to put on 10 pounds of muscle,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I did not understand how long that really would take. It's hilarious,
Yeah.
but I had no idea. Now
It's
I do.
crazy.
I guess I'm a
Yeah.
natural athlete, right? So
Yeah.
it takes a
I
long
think
time.
I did 9 and 12 months in the pandemic, and my trainer was like, "That's good," and I was like, "Really?" Like, it's something I just don't pay attention to. I do like a weigh in once a year, right?
Right,
Just
right, right, right.
get rid of the dad bod, and I was like, oh, "Okay,
Yeah,
cool, right
yeah,
on."
very good. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, it just like decided to just go like. And when I got sober, it was like, all right, well, like when I put down the party and stuff, it was like I can do this now, and things just started happening, and I just didn't think too much about like I didn't think too far ahead. I just kept on like putting one foot in front of the other, and ultimately like I grew to love it. I grew to make a
hmm
lot of friends, like the fellowship part of fitness in general, in like my whole life, like my whole friend circle has changed.
right,
um, and I have good friends everywhere, and I have a lot of people in my life that care about me, and a solid family behind me. But yeah, I just decided to go for it, and the rest is history. It's hard to really pinpoint, what exactly like these defining moments. But going through COVID here at home was one, and competing for the first time was really rewarding. And then going and having about 2 years off in between my first and second show, and then going back to Moncton this year and like nailing it, like I knew I would.
hmm
That
right,
was the plan, right? And
yeah,
I was really close to winning everything. But you can't control who shows up for a bodybuilding show,
right.
which is fine. Um, and then I just went to Toronto and did my thing.
Cool. What are the age categories? I'm not really too informed on the
Well, the
whole
age. So
bodybuilding. Is it an age category at all, or no?
there's like for like men's physique, there's like classes, which are like ABC. It just goes by height. I could be
Oh,
completely
okay.
jacked. I could be like 200 pounds solid muscle and be like 5'8" and go up against a guy who's 5'8" and he's 165 pounds, ripped. Just
Right.
like you know what I mean. There's no
Uh-huh.
weight cap in men's physique at all. But I'm being really outrageous when I say that.
Right.
But in regards to what was that question you had again?
Is there an age,
The
how is
age
it
thing.
categorized
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like, I mean, 18 to I think 34. I'm 34 now, so
Right.
masters division starts at 35. I think I do
Okay.
believe so.
Right.
Next time I could probably compete in masters
There
if
you
I
go.
wanted to.
And just
Um,
rip them up. Is that the deal?
yeah, I don't know, man. I
Not
guess
necessarily.
I mean, you don't know, right? Like
Yeah.
for me, being at this age and being natural, um, there's still so much room to grow,
Right.
and that excites me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think like no matter if it's like putting muscle on or like, like living our lives in general, like about like the thing is we'll always have our minds. So like we can grow every day, no matter like if we're talking about bodybuilding or like we should all be excited, for understanding the fact that we have unlimited potential.
Absolutely. So what is it that keeps you going then? Is it that excitement? Is it that little taste that you get, each time? What is it?
That's a really, really good question. And it's like, it's hard to pinpoint on that. It's just so nice to have a solid understanding of what you're working towards, and what you're working for. Like I know that like my weak points in my physique and what needs to be brought up, and how like I just want to be a better version of myself. And I guess like obviously bodybuilding, you're judged on your appearance, right? And that's kind of something you got to wrap your head around. I'm okay with that. I'm not that guy walking around like, hey, look at me, let's go. Like I'm taking my shirt off everywhere, even in the grocery store aisles.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. But it just fills me up with purpose, Nick. I think like it just I'm competitive within myself now, like getting back to like being like finding that competitive edge in team sports as a kid. Like what that's all about.
Yeah.
But now I'm just competitive within my own self. Like I am my own competition. Like I don't take team sports seriously. I have fun with that
Hmm.
now, but I take like my own personal development like pretty seriously. Like I
It's
want to,
fun.
yeah,
It's
if
hard
that
to
makes
stay
I
sense.
love
consistent.
that.
That
Yeah,
one day off turns into three pretty quick, and that turns into a week. So it's it's tough.
that's what it's all about,
In
man.
Yeah.
That's in bodybuilding, that's in business. That's kind of where, again, Nathan and I hang out. And Nathan, one being, 10, 11 years younger than both of us, and give you kudos for your consistency in our business, because it ain't easy, man. It isn't easy to go to the gym every day. It's not easy to make the calls. It's not easy to put yourself out there, to read the book, to improve. But hey, if
Mm-hmm.
you do it over time, little bit by bit, we joked the other day. I texted Nathan and said he's not grinding, he's sculpting, and
Yes.
I love that. Right, that's huge, because we all
Yes.
are in whatever vehicle we've chose. Right,
Mm-hmm.
even if I guess bodybuilding is forefront in one part of your life, it doesn't mean that's it.
Yeah.
You're learning, and I guess maybe that can lead into another discussion, like your your discipline and consistency there has to roll over into other parts of your life and what you do on a daily basis. I would only assume. So, how does that roll into other parts of your life? Um, and how has it made you better because of what you've learned from consistency?
I would say that, like I hold myself to a high degree of accountability day in and day out. Like not so much as I'm as hard on myself as I used to be. Like if I don't do that, one extra set, or if I'm in my off season right now, I'm gonna like if you want to go out for dinner or like have a treat on a Friday night, that's completely cool, right? But as far as like consistency, like on other aspects of my life, like I'm a single guy, so to be consistent is extremely easy.
Hmm.
I'm kind of boring. I do the same friggin' things every day, right?
Right.
Which is cool because I'm good at it, but I don't want to get into a place of being comfortable with it, and then you know what I mean,
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm really throwing myself out there right now with starting up this online coaching business, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Trying
Well,
my best to like post on social media on a regular basis right now. That's what I'm focused on, getting content out. Like I'm enrolled with a coaching academy online that has another
cool.
whole group of people and coaches that are learning just like I am. Um, and I'm just trying to, I've done enough for myself these last
Right.
few months when it comes to fitness. So
Hmm.
now I feel like I need to help other people. I have I understand the value of helping others,
Yeah.
and how much that we can get from that if someone needs our help and we're there for them, whether it's, helping them with weight loss or helping them put down the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right. I didn't get sober by myself. Now I'm going to be very clear on that and let you understand that I didn't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I have the people in my life that I need in order to keep me sane.
I was gonna kind of
Right.
ask. So I know you're working right now. Are you ever considering just doing bodybuilding full time and like maybe going the social media route or the online coaching? You kind of mentioned it there. Like, are you gonna ever jump all in and just say this is it?
I mean, I'm taking the leap right now in pursuing this and trying to, like, I'm away outside my comfort zone. This last week or two, man, has been hard on my head
Yeah.
because I want things to happen now. I'm used to instant gratification. I'm used to things coming easily to me. And what do we do when things don't happen for us right away? We get frustrated. We get stressed out, maybe anxious. We get, you know, pissed off, or like we kind of lack the understanding of that things take time,
Mm-hmm. Well, you're probably in a good
right?
spot. Being uncomfortable usually ends up turning
I
out for the
know.
best.
I
So.
hate it, but I love it. Oh,
Yeah.
drives me
Yeah.
nuts. But right now I feel okay about it. Like, I got some leads on Instagram and stuff. Like, I'm
Nice.
now, I guess I'm like using the DM game and stuff, and just I'm good at like speaking to people and opening up conversations. And
Mm-hmm.
right now I'm working on kind of just like asking people what their story is and where their fitness is at, and like, if you're interested, like, this is how it works for me. Like, I offer like training, nutrition, and accountability.
Right.
Biggest one in my opinion is like a coach that holds you accountable, which can be me if you want.
Right.
Right. And it's, you know, there's a little bit of fake it till you make it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I mean, I have a good understanding of what needs to happen. Like, I know what a calorie deficit is, a surplus, and maintenance calories, like,
Yeah.
and exercise routines and stuff. And I can throw that stuff together, but I'm just like, I'm learning a lot, and I'm
Right.
signed up with the ISSA, like the PT, and I'm going through that course now, slowly,
Yeah.
but I'm signed up for it.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and that's, I guess, like, we should probably, if we are mindful enough to keep ourselves purposefully uncomfortable from day in and day out slightly, but then I think we'd be better off that way than just become complacent.
Yeah. Absolutely. Which, not to paint a picture of our general society, but there's
Mm,
probably a lot more complacency than there is mindfulness.
yeah.
um, I definitely believe that, anyways.
Mm,
I heard this quote the other day. I was thinking about it as I was preparing for this call, and I don't know if you know the guy named Ed Milet.
mm-hmm,
You ever listen to his
mm-hmm.
podcast? And he's been chatting the past couple of weeks about his new book, and one of the lines that's come out of it, is I'll just see if I can. Okay, so it's something like, you're most qualified to teach or coach the person that you once were. And that like really nailed home to me. And I think that speaks to vulnerability. It speaks perhaps to the journey that you're on. And I mean you, because you're on the other side of this call, but we're all in the same boat. For me personally, when I read that or heard that, it's like the fake it till you make a conversation that you've talked about. Sometimes you don't feel qualified to give people advice, because what do I know? I'm only a 34, 35-year-old dude from Nova Scotia. I don't know shit. When really, yeah, we do. If we kind of look back at where we've come from to where we are today,
Yep.
we are definitely most qualified to teach those people. So, what do you think about that quote? Have you heard that before?
When I hear that, I think about serving my past self,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
that is what I'm trying to do for my clients,
Right.
like my avatar, my niche, the people that I'm going to attract that want to work with me and for me to be their coach, like middle-aged men,
Mm-hmm.
cut fat and build muscle or whatever to
You
reach
got
their
it.
full potential, like those cheesy little lines. But it's some people are, I'm training Chris Foster's little brother.
Okay.
Remember Chris?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, I got Corey in there,
Yeah.
and he had the same struggles I did, man. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This kid and I go way back to extra help in high school in math class, and I was
Wow.
three grade levels ahead of him.
Right.
So
Crazy.
tell me that didn't happen by accident,
Yeah. It's cool, eh?
right?
Gotta love it.
And he's like kind of doing his thing. Like I'm helping him out. Like we had a good conversation on the phone yesterday, FaceTime, because he was struggling with getting his protein intake, or his macros are off or something. I was like, "But I got to talk to you. Like, let's get this right." So like he's like my little my test buddy, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like
good for
I'm
you
helping him
though.
out. I'm giving him a deal for a little while, right? Because I told him I would way back before I was prepping and competing. Like I got all these apps that are hooked up and everything else, and like everything's just right there. Like my workout plans, I do like come with like free training videos and examples on how to do the movements, and it's just cool. Even that, it's just a start, right? You're not gonna get some testimonials from them, and you're gonna see if you can't put some muscle on, kind of like 10 pounds, like body weight, but maybe a little bit of muscle too. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
We'll see. I think it's slow and steady wins the race, man. Like I gotta calm down. I gotta chill out.
Well, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It helps, like you said, if you're surrounded by other people. Like I always tell you become the 5 people you hang out with most on the books you read. That's it. That's or the videos you watch, perhaps in this
100%.
day and age.
Yeah.
Yep. So that being said, what books do you got on the go right now? I assume you read something.
I just said I was starting to read this other book called The Confident Mind by Dr. Nate Sincer.
Okay, cool.
I got through it halfway. It's kind of directed at the athlete's mindset. It kind of reminds you of like a Tim Grover. We're in this a little bit, but talks about like how you cultivate like visualization and the actual physical attributes and stuff. And it's kind of helped me like accomplish my goals and
nice.
Like I was really affirming. Like I did a lot of like self affirmations going into these shows.
Yeah.
I am, the champion's mentality. Like, I'm setting a standard for myself to, especially going into that regional show, kind of going in there and having, the winner's mindset. Like I never have an expectation, but I think as I compete more and I progress, I like even like going to mountain, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do pretty good. Like, I'm not trying to sound like an a-hole, like someone who's like above anybody else, but I just kind of had an idea that maybe I would, and I did, and I'm really grateful for it. Like it just humbled me, man. In this sport, and like being here right now, like you want to talk to me, you want to hear what I have to say. Who wants to hear what Colin has to say? People want to listen to me. What?
Pretty cool, huh?
Well, I don't know. Thanks, man. but like, so it was crazy, man. And I just go on and on and on. But,
so tell us more about the visualization then, because that was one of the things I wrote down and I wanted to talk about. I assume that was part of your practice, because we, in my world and in what I try and accomplish, I don't do, it's hard to hit those goals without seeing it first and putting your subconscious there. So why don't you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, I think in general, like I wake up in the morning and I would just kind of reaffirm to myself that I am successful. Like I have like, positive attributes and qualities. And I would kind of just, I would just picture myself up on that stage, like walking up, like portraying a character, my favorite superhero. I'm Bruce Wayne up there, and like just doing a little dance and showing myself. That sounds weird when I say that, but like it's like you have to come up there and own it. So you gotta nail it, right? You gotta come up there and be locked in. And you do that when you walk off the stage and people tell you and you don't remember.
Right.
I'm sure too there's a lot of people that you look up to, especially in the bodybuilding community. And I guess maybe I have a 2-part question. I know you compete men's physique. Are you ever considering changing that category, or what's your favorite category maybe of your favorite bodybuilder, whether that's the open or classic or whatever? Who's your favorite bodybuilder that you look up to? And also, are you ever going to change the category that you compete in?
That's a good question. And I would say like we're all big C-Bum fans, obviously. for
Canadian,
sure.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but he's just a super humble guy, right? And he started here in Halifax.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wait a
yeah, he went
minute.
to Dow. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Dana Baker basically discovered Chris Bumstead, right?
Oh, cool.
And he just kind of blew everybody over the water at a very young age. He got his pro card when he was 21. So yeah, I like him as far as like probably like the guy I've watched the most, Ryan Terry from the UK, men's physique guy, really humble dude. I really enjoy him. Aaron Banks too. He's kind of like the new kid in town in men's physique. Like he played second at the Olympia last year. He's got a crazy back. I've actually talked to him a few times on Instagram. I listen to like what he has to say, and he's just very confident. I love how he portrays himself and carries himself, with humility as well. And like Sadiq is good. He's an old guy now, but he's pretty good as far as the open guys. Like obviously I'm a big Ian Valère fan. Obviously him and Chris watched a lot of their stuff together. And who else? I know a bunch of the guys and stuff. Like if I can't really think of them off the top of my head right now. Like Big Ramy, I don't know if he'll win the Olympia this year again or not.
Right.
I'd like to see some. Nick Walker's probably up there to probably get him, but
yeah, he's huge.
and I look up to my coach too. Like as a natural guy, like Connor, like he just flies under the radar, man. You don't know what he's up to, but he looks insane. Like you don't know, but trust me, like so like yeah, in regards to like like PEDs or not, like that's your choice. It's not my choice, and that's completely cool. You go ahead and do your thing, and that's completely cool with me, right? I have plenty of friends that use them, and that's completely cool. It's a personal choice, and I don't judge people for that, and that's completely cool. I just choose to live this way of life, and that's what I like, and that's what fills me up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And what was the other question?
Yeah, so I mentioned, yeah, which category would you like to go in? Because you're in men's physique now. Like, are you specifically? Do you like men's physique? Like, why did you pick that? Like I know open is going to be a little bit difficult without the PED use, but there are other categories too. So
yeah, I mean, like in a natural side, like I think I just picked men's physique starting out because I didn't have to wear trunks,
yeah,
just shorts, like I was like, I could do that. But I think like if I was to make a change, I would definitely try classic for sure. Just body. I think like talk about confidence. Like how like a confidence booster is getting up there and doing it. Like, but you're coming into this if you're not experienced, and everybody has to go through things for the first time, and they, like I told you, experience this discomfort. Like for me, the biggest thing was like learning how to pose. Okay, like that was really hard. Like even like night and day compared to my first time in like 7 weeks ago. As I really worked on it, right? But in regards to switching to classic, I do have the legs for it. Soccer player growing up, I could definitely pull that off for sure. But it's a matter of like it's very artistic, very flowy, like
yeah,
and like I don't have a genetically small waist, right? I kind of understand how to hide it, like in my poses for men's physique now, just to make myself look smaller, to create that illusion. It's a big part in it. But in regards to that, it'd be like the posing part that I'd be like, oh God, like I can do a front double bicep and like like back double bicep or whatever, and like side tricep and stuff. But I think it's just a confidence factor for me in learning how to pose. If I could get that down, then I don't know. I like men's physique though. It's pretty straightforward. All you got to do is pose in the front and pose in the back. Turn the face the front and face the back. That's it.
right.
Nick's kind of seen what I've done and stuff before. I've worked on it a lot.
Absolutely.
It's fun, man. I love it. It's hilarious. I get
It's
kicked out of
like it semes like a ridiculous amount of hard work as I watch. And I'm like, fuck, man. You really gotta be respectfully tapped to be willing to put in that much effort.
Yeah, all I would do every morning, just in here, like I got a wicked setup. My lighting in here is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But I would
of course
just
you wired it yourself. Eh?
Yeah, in the basement apartment. Yeah, get the downlight, get the plot lights right, and But all I do every morning, man, I go walk my dog. I come home. I didn't do any cardio, but that's whatever. I come home and I put Drake's new album on and just walk circles around in my basement, man. Just pose, just like hit it, and mess around with it the whole time. And see what works. And it's funny, the more you do it, the little tweaks you get, and then you kind of, oh, if I move this way a little bit more, then I can, it looks better that way. And then you kind of understand where your strengths and your weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody says that you can never you never pose enough. You should always be posing morning, noon, and night. I know that sounds extreme, but you could just never do it enough. You could always be improving on that. Anything in general, but the posing part of it is where I was told like my presentation at nationals was good. It's just a matter of bringing up some weak points in my physique, right?
Right.
So
Hey, I got a question for you. So you mentioned your coach. He's at Atlantic Fitness, and I've been there. Used to train there for 4 or 5 years.
yeah,
There's not a whole lot of gyms over in PEI. Nathan could attest to that. I think there's probably like 4 or 5 or something, at least in
A couple big
Charlottetown.
ones, yeah.
You seem to train all over the place here. What's up with that? Why don't you have a home gym, or do you? And why do you like to go everywhere else?
I'm kind of like, I think my first big steps into changing my life through fitness came in Sackville at the Good Life there.
Okay.
So that's where things really started to take shape for me.
Right.
And then, I go to Worlds every now and then. I'm going to go there later, I think, on Mondays, because I think obviously it's easy to get around to the Good Life. So you give a membership, you can go anywhere in Canada. For the most part, I do believe, unless I think there are some memberships where you can only go to one location and it's cheaper, but I have one that can get me in anywhere, which is cool. And then Worlds has some different equipment. Today I'm going to be doing a pull workout, and they have this rowing machine that I kind of want to hit for my pull day. And a lot of my friends go there and stuff, but I tend to train by myself, and get into it and put my head down, especially when I'm in prep and stuff. You're not as sociable, or your mood's a little lower, and you're kind of just slogging through it. And it wasn't that bad for me this time, knock on wood. It wasn't my body responded very well. But in regards to the different gyms, I just depends on where I'm at. I work in the city, and if I'm going somewhere after work and I have to stay in Halifax, I'll just go to the gym in Park Lane Mall.
Right.
Or whatever, or if I'm home today, early, I'll just go. I can go to Sackville's only 10 minutes away from my house in Waverly, right?
Right.
So yeah, it just depends on what's going on and stuff like that. And I think now that I'm in my off season though, and I'm trying to track my progress, so I need to understand you see the numbers, and if they're going up, what does that mean? It means you're getting stronger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're making gains, and so I'm gonna really fine tune this and get very meticulous about things so I can see exactly where I'm at moving forward.
Speaking about tracking, weight reps or weight reps time under load, what do you track when you do a set?
Good question, I guess. It's just basically the weight and the rep range.
Yeah.
I tend to always train with reps in reserve, which is
Yeah.
You know what that means. It's basically if I do 4 sets of 8 to 10, well, I'm going to do, let's say 3 sets of 8 to 10. I'll leave 2 in my first set, 1 in my second set, and then I may push to failure. I always go to failure kind of most of the time on my last working set of each exercise.
Right.
And sometimes that requires a spotter. Obviously, we're breaking things down to very basic things that people should know about. But I always think about you want to really make find out if you're getting strong, how are you going to be able to push that last one up where you can't do it yourself? Just don't be silly and find somebody and ask somebody for help, right? I know it sounds so silly and it's really, really simple, but a lot of people just don't understand that, or they're too shy. They don't want to bother people in the gym, or their ego gets in the way and they don't want to ask for help.
Right.
Stuff like that. But yeah, I just kind of I got training journals. I pen to paper it because I find it really goes into my head, and I make little notes by everything. That was a little bit too heavy, go up the weight, or maybe go down the weight, or if that was too light, well, maybe you can go 10 pounds heavier next time on your first working set. So where I'm at now with just getting into my new training regimen in the off season, I'm slowly coming to fine tune everything now, and my numbers, and where I know I'm going to be at, and how I'm going to progress moving forward. Right. So yeah, I'm very detailed and organized when it comes to everything in regards to this.
Right.
And that helps a lot. It's always being ahead. of the game, right? So I always,
Cool.
I'm ready for this whole week already.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, we've covered a lot of ground here, Colin, and I have a few parting questions for you, but I just want to know, is there anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't touch on today?
Um, oh man, I could talk to you forever. Like we'll like work out or something because I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
like
for
I can tell you
sure.
first and foremost, like I really look up to you, Nick, Nathan, and same as you, Nathan, being a young guy coming in here. But your demeanor, man, like you're calm, you're cool and collected, professional, and how like understanding a little bit of your story. I'm glad I kind of did some work in the backgrounds, like listening to what this was, like where you were at and what you achieved, is really cool.
Yeah,
So I
appreciate that.
admire that, and I admire that you're a family man. I
Mm-hmm.
admire that like you're a father of two,
Three.
three. Holy shoot, you got three kids.
Two,
Holy
four, and
bleep.
six.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've been busy,
two, four, and
boy.
six. We're busy, bud.
Good stuff, man. And so like I mean, I'd love to be in your shoes someday, man. Like, and but
Yeah.
that's okay. But I feel comfortable with who I am and stuff like that. And I just really need to for people to understand like it's don't you gotta you're having a hard time, pick up the phone and call somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want like I'm always like my hand is always there for anybody that might be struggling with whatever. I know we talked on that about like where I used to be at in my life, and I understand the meaning of having somebody there to help me come out of a shitty place.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's like crucial for me, like on a regular basis. Like I literally reach out to people every day and just kind of fire them a message here and there and see what's going on and just check in. You know,
Nice.
um,
That's
yeah.
huge. A previous guest we had on is a bit of a mental health expert in town. His name is Michael, and one of the questions I asked him was like, when we see someone who's perhaps a friend or family member or just an old friend that perhaps we see them as struggling in whatever way that is, how do we approach them? What do we do? And how do you do that? And so his answer was just listen. And so I'll ask you that question too, because yeah, what is it? How would you help someone who was in your shoes 4 years ago, or would you have wished someone would have said, a friend, family member, colleague, whatever, to help you through your journey to get here today?
It kind of comes down to when somebody's ready to make a change, you know, right? Like when someone's ready to help themselves. Like, does that make sense? Like, it's like it's some people just aren't ready to
Mm-hmm.
to give it all up,
Yeah.
and just say, "Hey, put my hands in the air. Like, I need something. I need something. I need like just one other person or a group, like whoever that might be to help me because I can't do it alone, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think it comes down to wanting to make that conscious choice.
Yeah,
Like if that
absolutely.
makes any sense,
No,
because
there's an old saying. I think it's the teacher comes when the student's ready, right?
yeah,
And
100%.
we don't know when that is, but
Yeah, no,
for those from the outside, I guess, we see it, and I see it in friends and folks, and you're like, what do I say? When do I say it? How do I say it? You don't want to be an asshole. Part of Nick is
yeah,
like, I'm going to tell you straight up what I'm thinking, and the other part's like, I don't want to piss you off. You know, what is it? But
mm,
generally, if you want to help, it is something that I
yeah.
ponder and think
You
about.
just don't want to
How do
be,
you bring it up?
yeah,
You don't want to send them further down the road,
yeah. You don't want to be forceful upon someone who's struggling with something,
Right,
right?
absolutely.
Like it's like
Yeah.
you're like having that chaser's mentality because like you start chasing, people start running, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So think about when you're a kid running around your backyard, like playing hide and seek. If they're chasing, you're running away from them playing tag, right?
Yeah, yeah. Good
I don't know. I've
analogy.
just I've been listening to a bunch of these podcasts and stuff. All this stuff's just like in my freaking head.
so say there's a middle-aged man that might happen to be listening to this right now, and he could be an ideal candidate for you. What would you want those people to know?
My 5-star
Um,
client is someone who's all in and adheres to the protocols and stays consistent on a daily basis,
yeah,
right? But also who wants to make a conscious choice to make a change,
right,
right?
absolutely.
They're feeling stuck and they don't want to be where they're at, and they want to improve their health, their fitness, their nutrition, and their mindset.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Um,
Cool.
and that's where I used to be at, and that's how, like that's what I strive to be like and work on a daily basis, and I will never be there, like full on, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm getting there myself. Like, I work on it every day.
We never arrive, brother. I think
Yeah,
that's it.
exactly.
We're
Right.
just
So
moving. Yeah.
that's kind of how I feel like about that. And it's men and women alike, like anybody, like it's meal plans, macros or meal plans, like training plans, accountability, like all through like free apps online and through like social media and stuff. And yeah, it's a cool thing, and it's going to take time for me to really get a good grasp on it. Like I said, it's very new, and it's been
Hmm.
fairly not overwhelming because we do that to ourselves, but I just need to kind of take one step in front of the other and just put in the work on a regular basis, slowly and surely. I will get there, and I've been there before with things I've started and adventures I've had, and you know, and then as long as I stick with it, I will be successful.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, what's that coaching plan? I think you said we were working on the PT side, but like as far as the coaching itself, is that the same program? Is it something else? You mentioned you were part of something.
It's a company called PT Domination,
Okay.
started up by two guys, Brian and Cole. Brian, I don't know what Brian's last name is, Cole de Silva. They're out in like BC or something, and they have an online community called the Changing Lives Academy. They have over like 1,500 students, including myself. And Brian and Cole are kind of like business mentors and coaches for all of their students,
Right.
like online fitness coaches like me. So we're always like, they have all these training stuff online. They have all these modules we're working through. They have, how to like gain clients online and through social media and stuff. It's pretty interesting. I'm very interested. Like I said, I have a passion for helping other people. And the biggest thing that one of the things I'm saying a lot lately is like, I will make an impact and I will change your life. It's not about money. I'll tell you right now, there is unlimited potential to make a shit load of money if you want, right? And it's not about it makes things easier, but I'm there to help you change your life and put years back on it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not if you're about the money, check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you're not gonna do it right.
You got it, my man. We do this. We say the same thing in our business with financial
Yeah.
services, and it's an industry full of people that would rather, even though I jokingly posted a picture next to a Ferrari yesterday, but
That.
yeah, but that's not our game.
Yeah, yeah,
That's not what we're here for. It's to help
yeah.
people and change their life. So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's good. Good to hear, man. I think that's the
Thanks.
right path for you. So we always like to sort of end off with one last question, and it is, what question do you wish people asked you more often?
How are you feeling today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
I don't know.
So,
But how you feeling? Like, I always was like, who are you? What do you do, man? How much money do you make?
right.
Like, I get so frustrated at people that are so validated by external objects
Does
and
that happen?
events,
You mean on social and stuff?
No,
Like
not
you
in
get those
general, but
questions?
the biggest thing is because I'm so scared that I would ever be like that.
Right.
I'll tell you one thing. Growing up here and to be where I'm at today and what I've kind of seen in my life and what I've been through, I have certainly figured out what I don't want.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Right? Do I know what I want? Oh my God. Like, I don't know. Maybe I do, but I certainly know what I don't want.
Love it. Good, man. You've
Yeah.
mentioned humble a whole bunch in this conversation, and respect to the industry that you're in, and going into. I don't think there's a whole lot of humble people in it. I could be totally wrong, and let me know. And some of the things I've seen, it just strikes me wrong. But what I really appreciated and liked about your story and what you're sharing is that you are humble about it, and it's about
Love it.
improvement, not only yourself and
Yeah. Oh,
others.
yeah.
So that's a huge thing, man. Congrats. We're proud of you for that. Thanks for jumping on.
Appreciate
It's a
it.
big journey that
Thanks,
you're
man.
on, and if you ever need anything, reach out. We're here to help.
Yeah, yeah, man, I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah,
It's been great to connect, and we've been kind of chatting here and there, and you've been there, kind of watching me grow, man.
for sure, buddy.
So I mean, if I affected you in a positive way, then man, Like, that's so cool. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
amazing. Like I understand that not only but I have the power, but like we have that power to change. That's like changing people's lives. Whether it's something small, like me going through bodybuilding prep and you watching, or
yeah.
you like affecting me in a positive way and understanding your story and how you've come to grow into where you're at today too. Like that's super cool. Like I
You
get
got it.
something from that, right?
Yeah, and it's very nice to hear that, and that's being humble, but being honest that, hey man, it's great that whatever we're trying to accomplish in our own life can influence someone else, and
100%.
therefore I think we shouldn't be scared to share that and be vulnerable as well, because you never know who's listening and you never know who's been in your shoes or could use your
Yeah,
help. So
exactly. That's right.